Let's stop letting prop firms steal your money on your best trading days, because intraday trailing drawdown is bullshit, and we all know it, and it's eating us alive when we trade some of these futures prop accounts. So here's trailing drawdown explained, along with how to avoid the nasty intraday trailing drawdown. Of course, in prop accounts, intraday trailing drawdown means your maximum loss limit, your minimum account balance, follows your highest equity point, even with unrealized gains or profits. So if your account starts at $100K with a $3K trailing threshold and you run it up to $102,000, your floor moves up too. So now you have to stay above 99K, not 97K. Now here's where it gets evil. So let's say that you nail a quick 8-pointer on ES and your drawdown moves up $400. Your balance and your intraday trailing drawdown move up $400. The next trade, you move into profit another $300 before you give back $200 of that on an unexpected pullback. So your drawdown moved up another $300, but your balance went down $200. After you do this a few times, you don't have any more accounts. And it's basically like eating Oreos while brushing your teeth. It doesn't work that well. So here's the part that should really make you furious, is they're tracking those unrealized gains if you caught that. So the trade doesn't even have to close. The second you open that position and it goes into profit, your floor has already moved, even though you haven't made a dime yet and your account is still exposed to potential losses. So the goalpost has already moved. And that's intraday trailing drawdown. But with the end of day trailing drawdown, which is the other main style, you'd be up $400 and then another $100 for a net up of $500. So at the end of the day, your minimum balance moves up by $500, not $700. When you do that a few times, that's a big difference. Huge. So dealing with the intraday trailing drawdown rule really needs to be a part of your prop firm strategy. And yeah, you need a prop firm strategy in addition to your trading strategies and entry methods. So dealing with the intraday trailing drawdown rule or any other trailing drawdown rule needs to be a part of your prop firm strategy. And yeah, you need one of those in addition to your trading strategy and your entry methods. So we know intraday trailing drawdown is bullshit. Let's talk about who has the non-bullshit accounts. And of course, if you want to get the very best price on any of these accounts, use code BULLBARBIE. Love you. So is there a no intraday trailing drawdown prop firm account that has decent rules? Let's do the TLDR on the best accounts and the prop firm rules that come along with them. And if you want to learn more about these, I have a playlist all about the prop firms and prop accounts. So I'm going to start out with Phidias prop firm, who has end of day trailing drawdown on all of their accounts, except for the express to live that goes direct from evaluation to live cash funding, because it has static drawdown just like a regular cash account that you would fund yourself. And you can even swing trade in some of the Phidias accounts, which would be a complete disaster trying to figure out with intraday trailing drawdown. Phidias prop firm also lets you trade news, and they have no consistency on evals, and they're a pretty bullshit free zone in general with quick and easy payouts and all the great stuff. Plus, I hear they have a great live stream. And next, I want to do a super quick Funded Next review. They do things a little differently with their maximum loss limit moving up with your profits at the end of the day like the others, but once it reaches your initial account balance, it freezes and stops increasing. So no more losing a 100K account in profit at $104,000. They do allow bots and news trading and even DCA positions. So they're another top prop firm for me personally. Another good one is the Lucid Trading prop firm. They also use the end of day trailing drawdown, and it has an initial trail balance that once you reach this balance, it locks your account drawdown limit to a set limit plus $100, and it doesn't keep rising past that point. So you can start building some equity from there. And the amount depends on the account size. So you can take a look at this. And the other cool thing, Lucid lets you have up to 10 accounts between the different Lucid Pro, Lucid Flex, and Lucid Direct account types. And I love that they're pretty BS free zone, and they have lowish profit targets and no activation fees. They still offer resets, which a lot of firms have been moving away from in favor of you just getting a brand new account. But just watch the consistency rule and the contract limits with them. And then I also will bring up Apex because I have been trading with them the longest. I know they can take a lot of heat, but Apex has updated their plans, and they now let you get a lower cost account with intraday trailing drawdown. Ugh. But they now also have an end of day version that you pay a little bit more for. So if you're old hat at passing evals, you can also pick the non-activation fee option. So you can end up kind of stacking these things up quickly that way. Apex has had a ton of criticism over the years, as all of the leaders have, but they were the first prop firm, and I still trade live with them because my personal experience has been fine. But as someone who doesn't start drama online, that might have something to do with it, but do be aware of kind of what comes along with trading with them. So let's talk about who does still play with intraday trailing drawdown that you might want to look out for. And there are many firms that still either have the intraday trailing drawdown or they have added it in there to be a bit sneaky. So I just mentioned Apex has intraday trailing drawdown as their budget option, but in my opinion, you get what you pay for with this one. So, think about that. Take Profit Trader used to be pretty high on my list, but between the intraday trailing drawdown on the sim funded, which to be fair, you would hopefully get through rather quickly and get onto their Pro Plus. But when you add the 1 week inactivity, and as a trader who loves to travel, kind of count me out of that because there's a lot of competition that doesn't make me report my vacations to avoid closing my accounts. Which brings me to my funded futures, who have also gotten me with their tight inactivity in live accounts over Christmas when they knew I was gone, by the way. But anyway, they changed their plans continuously, which includes the actual rules and details. So you really need to be watching the fine lines with them. That also includes the drawdown. So right now, their evals have end of day drawdown, but their promotional sim funded has the intraday trailing drawdown like TPT. So my biggest advice here is to just read the fine print with them. And of course, that really goes for anybody. And look, I'm not here to tell you to never trade these intraday trailing drawdown accounts, but I am here to tell you that if you're going to trade the intraday drawdown accounts, you need to build your position sizing and your daily max loss around that mechanic specifically. And it's really a different prop firm strategy entirely. So at the end of the day, who would I pick? I would definitely put any of the 𝗕𝗏𝘁 accounts at number 1 because I can even swing trade in the premium accounts. And for the most part, all of these trade just like my self-funded account, which keeps things really simple for me. My number 2 pick is Funded Next. They are great, and I'm trading a couple of these right now alongside my other accounts. I'm giving a tie to my number 3 spot, and that's going to go to Lucid and Apex. Lucid has some really great options with any of their plans, and despite all the drama, I do still have my Apex accounts going, and they now offer some end-of-day drawdown accounts. And remember, when you're comparing and looking at these prices, you aren't paying full price because you're using code BULLBARBIE. Okay, quick note. Prop firm rules change, sometimes overnight. Sometimes there are rug pulls and crazy things, especially with some of these firms in particular that don't have a lot of the long term in their plan. So everything I just covered is current of when I'm actually filming this. But of course, before you go buy any eval, verify that the drawdown structure is what you're looking for yourself. And you can drop any of your prop firm questions in the Trading Ranch Discord or the comments below. We keep our chat open if anybody wants to come in and talk about any things like rule changes or individual trading strategies. And the comments are always fun here as well. Okay, more futures, options, and prop trading tips and lessons are already posted to my channel, and there are more on the way. So come trade with me live sometime. Details are in the description, and I will see you real soon. Love you. Bye.